Right, I am live now. Just gonna post that on the Instagram. The Instantgram. No current viewers. Oh, hello. I finally have a viewer. How are you doing? Just here, chilling, waiting for questions to arrive. Oh, hello. How are you doing? Live stream. Someone just said hello on the live stream. I said hello. No, sorry. Hi, how are you doing, Oni boy? Well, I'm doing all right myself. I'm just streaming because I didn't have a video planned this week. No, that was my reason last time. Last time I did a stream, but this time I have the excuse of I had to make a video covering the Pokemon Presents. Oh, nice. What are you having for brunch? But yeah, like Pokemon Presents, needed to make a video for that, and that's why I don't have a video for Saturday. You know how it is. Yeah. So I'm trying to like keep like a schedule of I have one YouTube video per week, but like that's not always possible. So when I can't, oh, omelets and bread, nice. But when I can't upload a video, I'm just resorting to streams because they're fun, and although not many people tune in while I'm streaming, it's still there for people to watch, like on demand after, just to as a cozy place to talk about Pokemon. Really, that's what I want my channel to be. Essentially, a cozy place for people to talk about Pokemon, mainly Fakemon, but I'm not made of money. I can only focus on Croneo at the moment. Um, when it comes to like making Fakemon, but I have plenty of ideas. Yeah, family complications can really, yeah, they can really mess things up. Because like, I don't know how long I can keep up weekly uploads, considering I am a university student and I'm entering my fourth year soon. So who knows? I know with the Croneo videos, I think I can definitely have a Croneo video out each month. It's just a matter of getting stuff out in between. Oh, and speaking of, I linked my Patreon in there. So if you want to support, feel free. That's how you can watch the next Croneo video. And hello, Fly Fox. Oh, I do mathematics at uni. But yeah, if you wanna support me on Patreon, feel free. That the new Chrono video is up there already. But if you don't feel like supporting me, which is completely fine, it's a completely optional thing, it's gonna be out next week anyway. So yeah, it's just out a week early if you want. um, but yeah, and it's behind the I think the £3 wall, the Croneo trainer wall. I think. I think that's the pledge or the subscription type you can get it from, like the lowest you can get it from. Because I've got four tiers. One is just basically just you want to show your support, but you can't really give much. So it's like, you know, it's just a little bit, but you don't really get anything, and you know that going in. But with everything else, it's like, you know, incrementally not so much. Like the highest tier, you get the most out of, but it's only like 15, so £15, and that's yeah. I don't think that's going to be any more than 20. So at the moment, I won't be able to trying to save whatever money I can to hire an employee. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'm not earning so much myself, and that's why I'm setting up the Patreon, because I'm earning enough to keep the Cronio videos going at a monthly pace. Because the next video I'm needing to make, which will go out next month, I'm I'm over halfway done with like all of the designs being commissioned, but I still, you know, I can get it done, but Patreon will just help this hobby of mine, self-fund itself, essentially. That's the reason I've made it. And if you can't pledge, that's fine. You know, watching these videos is enough for me because that's why I make it. I make videos to make people happy. And if that's all. Just watching these is enough satisfaction for me. The Patreon's just there to help me keep on going. That's all. But I earn enough money to like exist. I mean, I live with my parents, so fair enough. How am I? I am doing good. This week's been a weird week. But it's the weekend. Everything's gonna be fine. And am I gonna make a fan game in the future? It's like my answer isn't yes, but my answer also isn't no when it comes to making the Croneo region into fan games. I would love to. It would be great to. It's just a matter of like if people are willing to make it. Um, like there is no current plan, but doesn't mean that doesn't mean I'm outright saying no, it'll never happen. It's a case of if if people want to make it, then yeah, I would want to be involved in that and make sure it would fit my vision of what Croneo would be as a game. And I'm thinking, I'm putting into like, well, I'm crafting it as if it were going to be a game. Do I know Indigo Region on Instagram? I'm just gonna get my phone out so I can search them up, just so I know who you mean. Indigo Region follows me. I don't follow back. I probably should, because this art's really cool. Um, this is the person who's had who pinned the Ditto ex-host Indigan Luxray, and also has a Dragon Poison Arbok and a Psychic Ghost Luxray. Which is weird because I'm gonna have a Psychic Ghost Luxray, but it's not gonna look like that. Yeah, fair enough that you've been MIA from social media lately. But yeah, it's a good looking account. All right, friend of yours. Lately, I've also been playing the new Mario Kart DLC. I know that's not Pokemon, but I mean, I have my Switch, so yeah, it's only natural that I'd be playing Mario Kart. And I was the most excited for like Waluigi Pinball and Mushroom Gorge to return, but honestly, Calamari Desert, that's probably got to be my favorite one that's come back. You know, because of what they did with it, and it's so cool. And also the new track, what's it called? Like Sky High Sunday or something like that. Yeah, or Sunday Sky Cook. I don't know what it's called, but it's good. I'm also gonna charge my laptop with the thing I was charging my Switch with, which was my laptop charger. Because my laptop uses USB-C, which is the same port as what the Switch has. So, what made me want to make a Scottish region? Well, first of all, I wanted to make a region because I saw the Cascade region, and because I've been a fan of Loxin since close to the start of his YouTube career, which is weird. It's weird. It's weird seeing the journey his channel went on to slowly become a PokeTuber channel. Then he decided, I'm going to make Fakemon because he analyzes Pokemon design concepts. He's like, I'm going to make some of my own, and it was through that I'm like, oh, I want to be like even half as good as this. So that's why I wanted to make a region, and the reason why I picked Scotland is because I live here. That's all. I've lived here all my life. I was born here, and yeah. I don't sound Scottish, but like I am. So um, yeah, it didn't initially start as a Scottish region, and my starters may seem like they may indicate that a bit, especially the Platycroot line. But I feel like they still will work. Yeah, Team Scotland. Yeah, I have been working on designs that are quite Scottish lately with artists. Um, and yeah, I've just been working on more Scottish fake mon. Not all of my fake mon are going to be Scottish. Some of very few of them will be Canadian inspired because there is a Canada inspiration in my region as well. I don't know when y'all are going to see the region map, but it's not going to look one to one with Scotland. Like Paldea looks more like Spain than Croneo looks like Scotland. Well, Paldea looks like Spain and Portugal, but still. The Iberian Peninsula as a whole. Because yeah, Galar very much um took liberties when it came to the geography of the map. And Alola, to a lesser extent as well, took liberties. But yeah, I'm taking liberties as well, but it's like it's still based around Scotland. It has a Scotlandy shape, but it also has elements of Canada in there, shape-wise, and also lore-wise. It's similar to Canada, but I yeah, so to justify that, a few Canadian Pokemon here and there. Like as I said last time, I have a moose Pokemon and I have a beaver well, of course, there's already a beaver Pokemon, and it's coming back. But what else? Oh yeah, and a Maple Leaf Pokemon. Yeah. So, but like, I've not got many Canadian Pokemon. I might add one more, considering I'm considering replacing a regional variant with a different regional variant. Um, where it's like I had a regional variant and then an evolution from that, but I might just keep the evolution, make it a more streamlined design because I've not actually commissioned that yet. So I've got time before everything with that is finalized. And the Croneo Dex is mostly done. It's just tweaking. Um, and it's like a lot of the designs that I'm like a lot of the designs that are going to be seen by the end of this year are well, they're pretty finalized, bar like what I think the last Croneo video of the year will be. Um, but even then, that shouldn't be too difficult with that video, considering what that video is going to be about, because it's going to be themed around a certain Pokemon in the Croneo region and what evolutions it may have. So that's a bit of a hint. But any Croneo related questions, or any questions about specific Pokemon? Love the secondary starters. It reminded of how the Monkey Trio were given, but better. Well, it's a case of the Monkey Trio are given to you to help you with the gym. This is the secondary starters are given to you because you're too stubborn to pay for your starters, so you get kicked out of the lab, and someone else just gives you a second set of starters. And like, I did kind of want to give off that vibe. Maybe that vibe was just in my head, like in my subconscious. I guess that's why that might be why they're two stage, considering the elemental monkeys in Gen 5 were all two stage as well. But I didn't want to make it so that they all used evolution stones. Because although I do have a flying themed and a fighting themed evolution item, but like what would be the rock type evolution stone? The stone. Like, nah. They're all friendship based because I felt that made the most sense. I don't have much friendship based Pokemon evolutions. Thank you, Fruipy. Yeah, the alternate starters were mostly done by my partner. Um Basically my partner did like all of the concept art for all of my starters. And then I got artists to do those, but apart from the flying and rock starters, because with the flying starter it looked so good, I was like, please just do this. Please just do the final one, and it turned out great. And then with the snail, it was a case of once it got refined, my partner loved it so much that he just wanted to do it. So that's where we are on that. And the only one that he didn't do concept art for was Musifer, actually, considering the design concept changed while it was being commissioned, which it was very last minute, but I think it changed for the better because it was originally going to be like a judo, an anthro judo cat, which I don't think that was a good idea. Like, because it didn't make sense with the concept evolution wise, and yeah, maybe it shouldn't have been fighting, but you know what? I think the reason it is fighting works, and the reasons I should say. Um, oh, you'd like to do a fan sculpt one? I'd love to see it. I would love to see fan art. Will I be adding any new evolution methods in my region? Outside of new stones, I do have multiple new evolution methods. In fact, I actually came up with, like, the mossy rock and icy rock and magnetic fields, and like those sorts of locations tend to be tied with certain types. Well, I made one for like each type, but but that's that not every Pokemon will use that. But there is a new evolution method that was a bit complicated to explain, but it will appear in the next video, considering that's how Crispalus evolves into Jackaterra. And if you don't know what those are, they are on my Instagram. And I do explain it there, but in the next video, those are going to be, yeah. And Crispalus and Jackaterra, well, Crispalus evolves from Tatipilla, so Tatipilla to Crispalus to Jackaterra, and they're my regional bug. So yeah. Also on my Instagram is the first regional variant revealed for the Croneo region, and that is Cronian Rattata. And yes, I know Alola did that, but Alola did Meowth and so did Galar. So I feel like anything's possible if you have the right idea for it. And I did. Like, I could, because like the idea was plague rats, but I I couldn't imagine that without it being a Rattata, weirdly enough. So the idea came first, the Pokemon came second, and I was like, it makes sense to be a regional variant, and I think it works. And the regional evolution of Raticate that I came up with is really cool, and it appeared in a True Green 7 video. So, so you may have seen that. But I go into it in detail in the video I'm uploading next week. Said video is already on my Patreon. In you can just pledge to any of the tiers apart from like the lowest one, because the lowest one you don't get any benefits. It's just if you just want to give me just a little bit. But everything else, will help fund this. So I just felt like, yeah, more adaptation based evos. Level up. Well, okay, that's interesting. I think Pokemon is going that direction anyway, because considering, like, although although something like leveling up while poisoned or with a max defense boost, like I think leveling up with those, like Gen 8 has introduced new evolution methods based around stuff like that, so I can see that happening. Yeah, there can be multiple regional variants. I'm trying to think of the Pokemon that I've made that have had regional variants before, but I'm giving them again. I don't think there's many, but let's just say Rattata's not even the only regional. Actually, no, there's only been 2 regional rodents that have. So yeah, I'm doing Zigzagoon as well. But also I'm doing Meowth as well because it seemed to be a trend, but I don't think it's going to be a trend anymore of Scarlet and Violet. Um, Especially considering the regional cat seems to be a thing of there's only really one Catmon in each generation, and in Galar they seem to just not care that much, so they did Meowth, but to justify it, they gave it a new evolution, better evolution. I prefer Berserker to Persian. But yeah, will there be any evolutions? Yeah. What do you think my video in December is going to be? Evolution of every type. I've just not finalized the concepts for all of them yet. I have vague ideas what I want to do. I just want to make sure there's enough in there where I'm happy with them. But like conceptual, I've already got one done, and my partner did it, and it's amazing. I'm not going to say what it is yet. You'll have to wait and see. I'll tell you what type it is. It's rock. It's a rock type. So yeah. What type is my Meowth? Because mine's going to be the best one, it's going to be fighting. And the reason why it's the best is that it will just destroy all the others. Normal, weak to fighting. Dark, weak to fighting. Steel, weak to fighting. I'm like, well, my one's the best. And also, I kind of ended up having similar species inspirations to Ocat. I'm going different directions with it though, and it's going to be more of a physical attacker, while Ocat and Mucifer is more of a special attacker. So yeah. And I did tease that I was gonna have another Wildcat-based Pokemon in that video, and it was specifically a silhouette of Galar and Meowth. Kind of to confuse everyone, but let's just say it's more closely related to Galarian Meowth than it is Alolan or Cantonian. That's literally why the design's going to be more in line with that. Because like, I mean, Galar is England, so Galarian Meowth England based. Croneo is Scotland. It's natural that they're going to be close because like Scotland's only land border is with England, so yeah, it's like it's natural that like Fido, for instance, is a desert puppy, because like it's in the Spain region, well, Iberian Peninsula region, but like Spain borders France, and France had Slurpuff, which was another dog that was fairy type, that was based on a sugary treat. So I think it makes sense that if, although naturally, Croneo doesn't border Galar, but there is going to be ties to Galar canonically. But I don't think I'm gonna have. I don't think it will be clear in the videos. But more so like in the backstory behind Croneo. That's what it would be. So like in the map video is probably when I would explain it. And also, if it ever became a game, I would say to the devs, yo, if you're when adding more detail, make it Galar like. I think I think the aesthetic of like the big city in Croneo will be similar to Winden, considering the big city in Croneo is the place where the league is anyway. So yeah, but I think it's going to be. By the way, the big city is going to be both based on Glasgow and Edinburgh. I've just decided to combine the two because I don't see any reason not to. A rock type evolution. Yeah, I'm going to do an evolution of every type, and just for the record, I'm not doing any fan types. I'm only doing the 18 types. I'm not against fan types when done well, and I feel like I'm not a fan of fan types when it's just like it's being added without good reason. Like if you're adding it because you feel like this sort of element would be interesting to explore, and enough Pokemon have had it already where it's like, or it's been in a presence in Pokemon already where it's, you know, they're like sound, light, cosmic. Those are like the big three. Like fair enough, but outside that, I think you can only really justify it if it makes mechanical sense. Because the reason why new types have been added before is to like fix the broken type chart. Dark and Steel were added to balance Psychic alone, and uh, Fairy was used to balance Dragon. So yeah, it's like like fan types can produce really interesting concepts, and the best Pokemon I see of fan types are the evolutions because you're expanding what sort of things you can do with that. So adding an evolution based around that type, they just look cool. But alas, I'm not doing any of those because I feel like the 18 types are perfectly fine. You drew a dragon type a while back for fun. Is that dragon type evolution, by the way? Because I think we're on the topic of evolutions. And yeah, evolutions. Eevee's my favorite Pokemon. I'm gonna do an evolution of every type. It's gonna be a weird thing though. And there's a lot of speculation as to whether Eevee's going to get an evolution or not, and I think them according to the leaks, perhaps not, but maybe those leakers haven't found that yet. If that makes sense, I'm not going to discuss any leaks, um, unless if something has come true that I saw in a leak, and I'm just saying, yeah, like Paldea and Wooper, and just the name of the Paldea region in general. I found out before through leaks, but I'm not going to reveal anything that hasn't been revealed. I'm just going to say, oh yeah, I saw that beforehand because I follow the leaks. But yeah, I think the general theory is that the reason Pokemon is promoting Eevee a lot at the moment is it's gonna end. Oh, I forget the character's name, but like the character with the Eevee in the anime at the moment. Can someone tell me? I'm embarrassed. I don't follow the anime. I just know that there's a character with an Eevee at the moment, and it just doesn't want to evolve. It just doesn't. Pokemon already has lots of time. Yeah, 18's a lot. Like 18 is a lot, and I would say it's enough because right now I feel like there are tweaks you could make to the type chart to make Fairy not as overpowered and Bug not as useless, because those are like the extreme ends of the spectrum. Because most types are fine and good, and then you've got like the three types at either end, which are really bad and really good. Yeah, 18's enough. I wouldn't be opposed to a 19th if it balanced things more. But that's pretty much the only reason I feel like Game Freak would do that, and I think that's the only reason. Like, I don't think I would do that. I don't think I would have a 19th type in Croneo or any other region I decide to make in the future, unless if Game Freak added it anyway. I'm not against making videos conceptualizing, like these fan types. Like, for example, I saw fan type on Instagram, and I'm like, I would want to do my own take on that at some point, but I wouldn't make it canon to any of my regions. It would just be a thought experiment of, okay, but what would it be like? What are some design concepts that can be done? What Pokemon would change? It would be an interesting video idea, but I'm not gonna be doing any of that for my regions or my like proper Fakemon project, such as Croneo, any legends ideas I have. Like, if it's a game concept, I'm not including it in the game concept. It's, you know what I mean? Because there's like Fakemon video ideas that I definitely want to make, but they wouldn't be like canon to anything. Those would just be like, here's a Fakemon idea, um, based on whatever the video's gimmick is. Like, oh, submit something and I'll draw it, and I'll get someone to redo my drawing but better, and we'll see if it fits with the original prompt. That sort of thing. Fun stuff like that. A pretty convincing theory that the anime Eevee is actually immune to Ooh, that could be interesting. I also know this theory that Eevee's actually the closest living ancestor. No, Eevee's closest living ancestor is Mew or something like that, or it's like Eevee's the closest living relative in the, you know what I mean. Like they're pretty closely related, and that's because of Espeon, because it's a psychic type cat, and also unstable DNA and all that. And I just found that interesting. Pokedex said it has an Eevee multiple times, so yeah. I mean, the Pokedex is controlled by Rotom, and Mew could just be fooling Rotom. So who knows? Also, I like the fact that the Rotom phone is staying, because I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Making the dex stored in like someone's phone, that makes so much sense. And I'm keeping that with Croneo. Like, yeah, just a Pokedex using. All right, but like, you take a photo of something that looks like an Eevee, and then AI is like, okay, this is what an Eevee looks like. It's an Eevee, you know. So that makes sense. If it's actually Mew in disguise, I wonder why it would be Mew. Yeah, Rotom phone is just, yeah. Meowth had a disguise, but Meowth can't transform. Mew's the only Pokemon other than Ditto that knows the move Transform. So yeah, I mean there is Zoro and Zoroark which have the ability Imposter, so they can transform, but you know, like those are the only Pokemon that can look like other Pokemon. Meowth wearing a disguise, nah. And yeah, ooh, that's true. It could just be inconsistent writing if that theory is true. But who knows? I don't follow the anime, so I don't really have an opinion. I'm just saying ideas of if this could be true, if this isn't. Um, Speaking of Ditto, of course Ditto is going to be in the Croneo region. Just a regular Ditto. Like when I finish the Croneo decks, I'm probably going to make a video about all the Pokemon that are returning from previous generations. Like Pokemon that do not have any changes. They don't have any variants. They may have evolutions, but if they're just the same, they're like, same old. Like for example, Grubbin. Like Grubbin would be the first one there. It's and I would explain why I put them there. So yeah. So the mon I'm currently getting artists to do at the moment. I'll say that after this actually. That easily could say it's a Mew, but just saying it could also be argued against because of early seasons. Yeah. Yeah, the Chroneomon that I'm getting done at the moment. One's probably the weirdest looking one I've got so far. Like, I looked at it and thought, this gives me Pikmin monster vibes, but it still feels like it could be a Pokemon. Because Pokemon have weird designs sometimes. And it was a weird concept anyway. Like, it looking like a Pikmin monster was just an interpretation of my idea. My idea could just be anything. So it's like, it's no insult to the artist. I like Pikmin. So, like, I wouldn't be bringing up Pikmin if I didn't like it. Pikmin's is just one of those series that no one thinks about unless if they've played it, in which case they get Pikmin brain rot. Like Pikmin, because as soon as you play Pikmin, you understand it, you probably enjoy it. Done. Bada bing, bada boom. But yeah, it reminded me of some Pikmin monster designs, but if it was a Pokemon, and it did remind me of other Pokemon as well, like Sinistine Poltergeist in terms of face. It's weird. It's going to be a weird thing to show off. I don't think I'm going to be showing it on Instagram before the video. So hopefully the video will be when it debuts, unless if I decide to post it on Patreon. I don't know if the link tree's in the description. But you know, I'm just posting Patreon. You don't have to click it if you don't want to. Just putting it here because it's an easy link to the Patreon. if you are intrigued. But yeah. I'm also getting my pseudo legendary done. The next two Croneo videos, including the one that's coming out next week, obviously, is themed around unused type combinations. And yes, technically, the legendary that is the emissary of the past, Priorate, the hindsight Pokemon, mascot for Pokemon Agate, it's fairy fighting, which has been unused. But I do have a different fairy fighting mon. And I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you enjoy those videos as a whole. Basically, I'm going to be... whenever I talk about a Pokemon in the series, I'm going to be talking about the whole line. I'm not going to disjoint it. Because I don't see the point, you know? Yeah. I've got all my regional variants for the next video I have to make, i.e. September's video. I've got all the regional variants for that sorted. I just need to finish off like the new ones because I've got 3 in development right now, and there's one more that's just a single stage. They'll be fine. It's weird because like I think only two of those Pokemon lines that are going to be in that will look like not regional variants, because people might get confused with 2 of the original ones because they might appear to be like regional variants of Pokemon that already exist. But trust me, they're not. I'm not gonna spoil. I'm not gonna spoil my Bug Dragon type, but I might as well spoil my normal Rock type. It's gonna be like a mimic Pokemon, you know, like Voltorb Electrode, Foongus Amoongus, Galarian Stunfisk, Hisuian, Voltorb and Electrode. Basically, it's gonna look like a Pokeball. That's the intent because Pokemon always has a Pokemon in the dex that does that, but it's not always the same. It's not always new, but because I didn't have any in the decks, I was just like, oh, now I know what to do. Of my designs, which do I feel is the most Scottish? Ooh. When you say out of my designs, do you mean out of A, all the ones that have been revealed, B, all of the ones that have been commissioned, or C, all of the ones full stop? Because I can't answer C, but I can answer the first two. It's a difficult question, but I can answer it. I'm actually having a think. Well, the ones that have been revealed so far, all of them have been Scottish to some extent. Ones which I can talk about now. I make up the rules, so I can talk about any. But so out of the ones that I haven't revealed yet, I don't know how to compare that to the ones that have been revealed, but I think it's on my Instagram story right now, but the thumbnail to next week's video is there, and it features the Pika clone, which gives the most Scottish vibes in terms of its art. But it's hard. I'd probably have to say the ones that scream Scotland the most out of the ones that have been revealed have been the middle stage Firestar, specifically the middle stage. Tamaku. My future legendary, Mebicordian, and my third legendary in the trio, Orpith only because Highland Cow, Highlands of Scotland. It's very Scotland associated, more so than anything else in the region so far, I should say. Mebicordian is a unicorn, which is Scotland's national animal, and Scotland's national bird is the golden eagle, which is what Orpith is based on. So, yeah. But everything else has been Scottish to some extent. Like, the Buttercup line, there is lion symbolism in Scotland and the Royal Banner of Scotland, so that works. Although it's a wee bit of a stretch, but it's fine. The fire type line, as I already said, Highland cows. Platycroot line, although platypuses aren't actually Scottish. Yes, we know unicorns aren't real, but like the unicorn is only our national animal because basically Scotland's national identity is hating England. And England's national animal is the lion. And Scotland were like, do you know what's better than lions? Unicorns. Unicorns could probably kill a lion. Have you seen a lion that hasn't been killed by a unicorn? Or have you seen lions who are unable to be killed by unicorns? No, you haven't. So yeah, it's the good identity to have. Well, nowadays it is because the UK government, which is very England centric, are arseholes who are becoming fascist. So, oh, what is the region's gimmick? Your ones are crystals that can transform Pokemon into different types. My region's gimmick, like the held item, is crystals. Like, but technically the gimmick is somewhat different in each version, but mechanically it works the same. Let's just say it's like Z moves, but a bit more complex and different in terms of basis and version exclusive, if that makes sense. Hey Sam. Oh no, my brother's in chat. Oh no. But yeah. Whilst oh yeah, I was talking about how each mon is Scottish. So yeah, platypuses, the Platycroot line. Platypuses aren't Scottish, but they're based on the Navy, which has a load of Scottish ties, like James Bond, commander of the Scottish Navy. And he grew up in Scotland, and the first actor to play him on film is Scottish, or was Scottish, I should say. Rest in peace, Sir Sean Connery. um, I mean, I guess the Mucifer line, the Ocat line, yeah, that's very Scottish too, because it's based on wildcats and a mythological cat creature called the Catshee. So yeah, and Falcoth and Galgrin are based on peregrine falcons. They're quite common here, actually. Um, which surprises every American I tell that to. They are surprisingly common here, and they're, it's cool. I think I think it was a cool thing to base flying type on, especially considering the national bird of Scotland I was already planning to use as a legendary. Which is weird because there's a mythological bird creature in Scotland that I'm planning to turn into my regional bird. So that's weird. But yeah, the Calcifera line is probably the least Scottish out of everything I've done so far, because there's not really an inherent Scottish connection other than we do get snails here too. But there isn't any real cultural significance to snails. I just thought that fit the rock type the best because I wanted a crystalline theme because I knew some animals could naturally produce crystals, and I just picked mollusks, and that was the theme behind that. Um, and then with the legendaries, I've already explained the other two, but Praetorate, it's Scottish because it's actually based on a Scottish species of octopus, and also kind of based on the Kraken. And the Kraken, although it's not in Scottish myth, it's you know Vikings probably told that story when sailing around the North Sea, so makes sense. But it is based specifically on a species of octopus found in Scotland. My regional bug line is both based on like moths, which are found in Scotland, and potatoes, which do have some cultural significance. I mean, potatoes can be found everywhere, but like, I just really like the concept, and I think it worked. And also the final stage is based on a myth that, although it's a British myth mainly, but it's mostly like in London, the like somewhere else in England and Scotland. So it was a myth that does cover Scotland. So yeah, hold on. Sorry about that. Um, Rattata, the Rattata line I'm basing off Plague Rats, and that's a reference to, well, I got to tell a story about the plague in Scotland, the Black Death. So yeah, um, but yeah, that's it mainly. Um, if your corrupted form turns the Pokemon into a twisted evil form by giving it the dark type and angelic forms, turning Pokemon into more good and noble form of it, and also introduces the light type. Okay, interesting. Um, hello, vlogging with Gibster. Also, Fly Fox. That gimmick. Also, my partner had a similar gimmick for his region. But hey, it's it's a decent idea. It's a cool idea. Oh yeah, and my partner also is like doing a region. Uh, not as active because that's you know, he's an artist that, you know, has other art to do. He's not a Fakemon artist specifically. He is able to do Fakemon, and he has done for my region. Haven't you, love?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The snail.
Yeah, the snail, the peregrine falcon.
The snail.
Yeah, and something else which you will probably all see in October, actually, as well as that rock type evolution I mentioned earlier. But yeah, there is something else which I'm not going to reveal right now. But you know what? I like it. I like it a lot. It's actually the only Pokemon I've got for the October video so far. If you're wondering what the October video's theme is, it's just general Pokemon. It's like, you know how, basically, in terms of how who's my partner? I explain in the videos and on the posts at decay_fakemon on Instagram. Yeah. But yeah, I've basically groupings of what Pokemon I'm gonna. Yeah, God, my brain is like, there's so many things to focus on. I'll read only something. Gimmicks aren't that bad to come up with. Offense, defense, and utility are the best way to break them down. I just didn't focus on a gimmick until I realized I kind of had to. And I was like, considering I knew I had a magnitude of Fakemon to do for Croneo, I knew that a form-based gimmick was just not a viable option. But lore-wise, I feel like an attack-based one made sense. I think Scarlet and Violet also is doing an attack-based one. And do you know what? Yeah, fair dues to them. But yeah. It's unfortunate, Sam. But yeah. The thing is with gimmicks, if you're gonna make a form-based gimmick, it might be too similar to Megas. That's just what may happen. Like, I don't know. Gimmicks to me, or at least gimmicks for Croneo, were definitely an afterthought. But they're definitely. I definitely had them pretty much mostly planned out before the first video was even started production. Well, maybe not before pre-production, but before I recorded it, I had a pretty decent idea what the gimmick was going to be. So although it was late in the game, kind of an afterthought, a lot of thought was put into it. Scarlet and Violet are doing a type change because to a mono type and a minor stat boost. Yeah, I mean it's battle and move related, so like if it changes a Pokemon's type, it's going to affect the stab of that Pokemon, and you know it's giving them a nice hat to wear. Like it's like a Kirby hat. Like, yeah. Yeah, when grouping together which one I'm going to talk about in each video, I did base myself vaguely off of kind of both Lockstin and Pragmagic with their first Fakemon regions. Because unless if there is a more relevant video to put them in, regional variants are going to be in their own sort of duology, and not and it would be a duology with like videos in between. I'm getting unused type combos out of the way right now because I just feel like it. And yeah, basically breaking them down, and like I'm gonna have a fossil themed video, I'm gonna have a evolution themed video, I'm gonna have a Canada themed video, but 3 videos mainly talking about general Chroneomon that don't fit another specific theme. Mostly in Dex order, but because there's a mon that I really like the idea of, and I kind of want to get it done very soon. But also it would tie in really well with Halloween. So that's being moved forward. But I decided to also move forward another mon because I think it makes sense to put alongside other mon that would be in Route 1. Or, well, because there's some new evolutions to older Pokemon that I'm going to be covering in October's video. But all of these Pokemon you'd probably find early in the game. I know in their debut games and other games they featured in when applicable, because one of them is a Galar Pokemon, so it's not actually applicable outside of Galar yet. Although it might be soon, because I think it might be in Scarlet and Violet. But anyways, yeah, there's new evolutions and stuff, and yeah. Well, I guess two of the new evolutions are kind of wish fulfillment, because one of them's like, well, this is what it should have been, but like it's a concept that actually really works, and it's like this is what the final Evo should have been, and this is just something that I thought would be cool. And then the other one, my partner did, and I think it works as a concept, and I think he was able to put the nebulous concept into a design pretty well. Something, a passive boost given to your team for every mon defeated. Okay, that actually could work with Gibster's region. That sounds really cool. I'd recommend going for that region. Yeah, I'd say go for it. Okay. Fire. Oh wait, I forgot to answer the question of what's the favorite part of the region. I like all of it. I know that's it's hard because like when you come up with things, it's it's like choosing who's your favorite child, and a good parent would never do that. But yeah, it's not Croneo theme, but you want my opinion? Go ahead. Like if something's not Croneo themed, I'm not gonna go like, oh no, absolutely not. Like you can just like say, what do you think about fucking the new Wooper? And I could be like, it's the best boy. Like you can talk about anything really. But yeah, how does a rock type evolution sound based on petrification? I mean, geez, that sounds really cool. That honestly sounds really cool. If that's what you're considering, do it. Maybe you can have it so that also, the Pokemon also becomes more flooding with souls. if you want to add new forms based on that, I would say work with that and just treat it like Dynamax and Gigantamax in that regard. Whereas it's not every Pokemon, but some Pokemon can, and you can change their forms based on that. Others can't, but they're just charged with soul energy or whatever. Petrification. Maybe petrification, like as a pun. I would say work on it because even my suggestion feels a bit long. Yeah, but that kind of sounds like it could be Petri dish. Yeah, Patreon. Patreon. Money type evolution. Patreon, you say. Patreon, you say. Posts Patreon. Yeah. Forgive me for my excessive marketing of my Patreon. But, yeah. Last stream, I said one truth, two lies, and you know, the truth was that a Pokemon that got a Mega now has a new Evo. That is correct, actually. Well done. Which one? Which one are you thinking? Because how did you guess that? Lopunny. No. That's not getting a new evolution. I know you probably saw something on a server that looked like Lopunny, and there is a reason it does, but it's not an evolution of it. It's a it's a split from Baniri. And I wanted it to be a split even after I ditched Megas from my region concept. Is that yeah. The reason, like, after I did that, I was like, well, it's more masculine, and I feel like it would make sense to have a masculine equivalent evolving from Baniri as opposed to a feminine thing. And I think having different inspirations thereafter works. Like, it could have been an evolution, but I think it works the way it is. Yeah. I have been given hot chocolate, which will help because my throat is a wee bit sore from talking for an hour. You're correct. You were just wrong about which Pokemon. I don't have the Pokemon designed yet, but you know, you're right. But do you have any? Oh, fuck. Do you have any guesses? Do you have any guesses on what it could be if it's not Lopunny? I'm just checking Instagram right now just to see if there's anything. Ooh. Okay. So on my Instagram, I've posted, or on my Instagram story, I've posted lists. Rattata is not the only early game normal type that's receiving a regional variant in Croneo. So I've posted a poll saying which one do you want to see next, because I have them both complete. I've got both lines complete. But it's which one would you want to see first? because I'm going to be posting both next week. I just don't know which order. So, yeah. Croneo and Zigzagoon or Croneo and Patrat. Go on my Instagram right now, go onto my story, and see which one, or pick which one you would rather see first. No guesses as to what Pokemon with a Mega Evolution is gonna receive a regular evolution in Croneo. Well, I'll give you a clue. It's not a 3-stage mon. So it's not the Kanto or Hoenn starters. It's not Tyranitar. You know, it's not. What 3-stage mon do have megas? Huh. Like Garchomp? Yeah, I mean, but which ones that aren't pseudo legends, actually? Yeah. Well, Charizard has 2. Also, it isn't a legendary, so it's not Rayquaza or Mewtwo. Imagine if I just made an evolution to Mewtwo or Rayquaza, though. That would be fun. But I'm not doing that. Marwile, interesting guess. I am planning to do something with Marwile at some point, but not yet. You'll see eventually in like probably a few years, but but yeah, no, Marwile was a really good guess. It was a really good guess. And by the way, I'm not meaning a regional evolution. It's a full-on brand new evolution. So it's like the original Pokemon, but it evolves now. Because although it's not Marwile, yeah. Oh, before you choose Patrat or Zigzagoon, what would I do for the variant? Well, that's for me to know, and you to find out. Which one would you rather see a variant of? Because I know what I would do because I've done them. I've got artists. I've commissioned artists to do it. Yeah, that's called a cross-generation evolution. Yeah, well, it's a cross-gen evolution. But yeah. I think Zigzagoon has an official one. Okay. Yeah. Picking Patrat. Patrat is actually winning at the moment. Not by much, but I'm surprised because I thought Zigzagoon would win because people like Zigzagoon more. But I guess because Patrat hasn't received one yet. Yeah. Patrat, I think the artist definitely conveyed the concept in a way that I like. I just feel like, you know, it's, let's just say there's elements of it I'm not the most happy with, but I'm sure you'll like it. Also, hi Will, stop posting Universals memes in a non-Universals context. What's everyone's favorite regional variant of a Pokemon? Official and non-official, let's say. Because I think my favorite regional variants so far have been. Love you too, Will. For those wondering, Maddox Productions 1 is a friend of mine from the Doctor Who community. But yeah. So my favorite regional variants, it's hard for me to pick, but I'll pick one from each game. The Alola games, my favorite regional variant is probably Vulpix because it's adorable, and then Ninetales is amazing. Then Galar, it's Zigzagoon. I bet you're wondering why I'm choosing Zigzagoon. It's not as if it's one of my favorite Pokemon. And okay, yeah, Jet Strike's seen it because I've posted it on a server before. I'm now gonna like delay before I post things on servers. I'll just wait. I think I'll probably try and wait until the videos are actually out, or at least close to being out before I do that. So I'm thinking of maybe just posting things on my Patreon first. And an idea for an explosive pomegranate. Okay, yeah, that's an interesting sounding idea. My favorite Hisuian form is Zoroark. Although my favorite one I used in Legends Arceus was Samurott, because water is just a really good type in that game. Oh, and my favorite regional variant for Scarlet and Violet. I'm not going to say anything about the leaks because, you know, they don't really do anything. They just tell you what's in the game and what's not. But my favorite out of the ones revealed so far, shocker, is Wooper. But it's a high standard. It's a high standard. What types Croneo Patrat and Croneo Zigzagoon would be? Or say what the Evo line is going to be like. What I'm going to say is it's the reason why I'm going to post both Zigzagoon and Patrat next week is because their entire line has 4 designs, because it splits off at the end. Although with the Zigzagoon line, it's because I'm introducing a new evolution but keeping Obstagoon as well. With the Patrat line, I've got 2 different forms of the same Pokemon, if that makes sense. But they're very different designs. They're permanent forms. So yeah. And I will tell you what they start out as. Zigzagoon starts out as normal steel, which is a new type combination, and Patrat is fighting. One of its final evolution, one of its forms will be Fighting Fairy, which is why it's going to be in unused type combinations. But yeah. Yeah. My favorite starter. I'm not going to say my favorite Croneo starter because I really like them all. Like it's difficult. My favorite official Pokemon starter, it depends on whether or not you count Eevee as a starter. And if so, it's Eevee. If not, it's Oshawott. Yeah. Another One Truth, Two Lies. Okay, I've got to think about this one. I am introducing 2 new baby forms. I am doing something with Charizard. And there will be a Steel-type gym leader. There you go. The thing is, both lies have a hint of truth in them. What's my favorite star of each region, and which is my favorite Croneo? I can't pick. I did try saying in the last stream, but like I feel guilty saying that, so I'm not gonna do which one's my favorite Croneo starter. But okay, you don't think it's the middle one? Okay. I will say what my favorite starter from each region is. Kanto is very difficult. Although I have very fond memories of using Charizard in Pokemon X. So it would probably be Charizard, only because I have memories using it. But if I used a Venusaur, it'd probably be that. It you know. Johto, probably Totodile, maybe Cyndaquil. Like, if we're counting Hisuian Typhlosion and not regular Typhlosion, then it would be Cyndaquil, but I don't know. It's a tough one with Johto. I'm not really that fond of any of them, but I do like them all to some extent. I think the strongest base stage is Totodile, the strongest middle stage is Quilava, and the strongest final one is Meganium. So that's what makes it difficult. Hoenn, probably Blaziken, but that's another really strong one. I honestly think Hoenn has the best starter trio. Because I like all of them very much. Sinnoh also has a strong one, probably in the top 3 for me. And I want to say Chimchar, even though I've used Piplup more, because I had that on my BDSP team. With Joe, you count normal Typhlosion. Yeah. You do want to know which of the series starter forms is my favorite. Well, spoiler alert. It's probably actually, there's interesting things to discuss when it comes to that. Unova, my favorite is Samurott because it's my favorite starter. Oh yeah, Pokemon Yellow, my favorite starter out of Pikachu, and that's it. Is Pikachu. Surprise, surprise. Well, I've never played Pokemon Yellow, so I can't even say that. But yeah, Unova is Samurott because Samurott's my favorite. Kalos? I flip-flop between Delphox and Greninja. I'm not really that much of a fan of Chestnut. With Alola, it's definitely Decidueye. Although Primarina's really good. Primarina fans, rejoice. I like it a lot. Incineroar fans, it has fans. Galar, again, part of me feels like I might flip-flop between like Grookey and Sobble. I used Grookey, and I'm glad I used Grookey, but I think Inteleon is probably the best of the 3 starters. I get why people like Cinderace. I just don't really like that line. Cinderace is probably my favorite of that line, to be fair. Because I've actually warmed up to it. Warm fire. And Hisui. The one I picked was Oshawott, and I don't regret it, and I think water is the best type to use in Legends Arceus. But I think all 3 starters actually have really good designs. I think Samurott couldn't improve upon perfection, so it was just Samurott, but edgier. Typhlosion was just fixed, and Decidueye they did something different with, and I do like it. I prefer original Decidueye though, so it's a downgrade, but it's a really good design. So I like all 3, but I'd probably have to say Samurott because I'm biased. Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxley. When they were first revealed, Sprigatito, but since the second trailer, every time I've seen Quaxley's hair swoosh, it's slowly winning me over. So I might actually pick Quaxley, even though I am a cat person. So Sprigatito would be the natural choice, but then again, Lynn would have been the natural choice. But then again, I wasn't a cat person back then, and I just find Litten kind of ugly. Yeah. I've not actually fought Folo yet. I probably will. I don't think I'm gonna upload any post game content of Legends Arceus because I think I'm gonna stop doing playthrough content. I might do an editor highlights thing of Pokemon Violet when it comes out, or Scarlet and Violet, but I'm gonna be picking Violet because yeah. Cacnea regional variant based on a Thistle. Ooh. I'm actually going to have a Pokemon based on a Thistle. And it is going to be a regional variant of a Grass-type Mon. Well, naturally a Grass-type Mon. And it's going to be Grass Fighting. And I think Cacnea makes sense to do, because Thistles are quite spiky, but Cacnea has elements of it that are a wee bit fluffy as well. So it works. I think it works. Okay. Thanks for the tips for Volo. And yeah, Thistle is the regional flower of Scotland. I have to have it somewhere. For future reference, try not to put spoilers in the chat. Only like spoilers that are specifically or not spoilers, but like if you talk about leaks, try and talk about ones that came true. Not ones that partially came true. Well, you can talk about ones that partially came true if you only talk about the stuff that did. But stuff that hasn't been revealed yet, don't. This is not a this is not a leak friendly zone. I am a leak friendly person. You can talk to me in private, but for the publicly run stuff that I do, no. Not leak friendly. Yeah, I do have a potato mon, and already I am working on making another food-based mon for September's video. Are there any other food-based mon that are gonna appear in next week's video? Count crabs as food, then be my guest, but I'm guessing you don't mean animal, like specifically based on a meal you would have. Yeah. I mean, I've got plenty of food-based mon. I actually wanted to make as many food-based mon as I could. Or that I could get away with. but only ones that make sense. Oh yeah, I do have another food-based mon that's going to appear in next week's video, and it's going to appear on my, well, I've got two, actually, other than the potato mon, and one of them's going to appear on my Instagram on Wednesday. The winner of the poll will be on my Instagram on Monday, and the loser of the poll will be on Friday. It's just so I can have layout, but it's like I can swap. I can swap them around. It doesn't really matter. My layout will be fine regardless. I just want to know what people want to see first. You're going to be making a Ghostmon based on Iron Brew. I'm not going to be making a Ghostmon based on Iron Brew, but I am going to be making a Mon based on Iron Brew. Because I got the idea from the last stream, and one of my Mon seems to not have as much to it as I would have liked. So my design inspiration is going to be Iron Brew. But I have a weird gimmick with it. It's just now also based on Iron Brew. But there's no gimmick to do with Iron Brew. It already just had a mechanical gimmick to do with its evolution. It's something that I was like thinking, what if Pokemon actually did this? So I just did it. Planning to make a Grapemon. You don't know if it should be a new mon or a region. Leak. You can make it a regional variant of anything. It can be a regional variant of Applin. Gibster, you are you're treading on thin ice right there. But still, yeah, if that leak is real, go right ahead. If not, you can still do whatever. You don't need to make it a new mon if you don't want to. If you feel like it could work really well as a regional variant, because like it can still be called Applin, for example. Yeah, like it can still be an Applin, like because it's not called Snowshrew in it, isn't it? Like in Alola, it's still called Sandshrew. I mean, sure, the Alolan's called Vulpix Kyo, but like still. Yeah. What was the map based on? Jet Strike. Because I do remember the Sonic guy. Yeah, even though it isn't an apple, Sandshrew is not. You know. Yeah. Any Objectmon for the region? I don't think there's as many as there are Foodmon. But I already discussed the Iron Brew mon, but what would you do for the evolution? I think for the evolution, because Applin already has a split Evos, it would make sense to do different things if you did make it Applin. But yeah, Objectmon. Are any gonna appear in next week's video? Not counting Foodmon as Objectmon. Let me have a think. I mean, none of the regional variants will be. Any of the originals? No. So none next week, but the September video, which will be Unused Type Combos Part 2, will have at least one Objectmon. So there are going to be Objectmon. But I don't want to say they're few and far between, because I don't think they are that few and far between. But God, it's getting dark in here. I wonder if I could turn on the lights. Okay. I wonder, did that help? A bit. Okay. Angel Island. Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And a hint about the Object Mon inspiration. Earlier in the stream, I did say there was going to be a Mimic Mon. Yeah, that still applies. It's not. It's probably going to be the least Scottish Pokemon so far. It's not going to be particularly Scottish or Canadian. And it's going to be round and will have a Pokeball pattern on it. It's not been drawn up yet. I don't know who I'm going to get to do it. Why was the unused type combos video removed? I haven't watched it yet. Well, it's not been removed. It's not been removed. It's just not out yet. Like, removed from where? Because it's not in any playlist at the moment. It's unlisted. And it's on Patreon at the moment. And if it's been removed from Patreon, I would need to investigate that. It makes sense to make it a Greek dragon, which is a Hydra, but I'm making legendary based on Typhon, born from an affair between Gaia and Tartarus, killed by Zeus. Killed his father and his uncle. Ooh, okay, that would be interesting. If I ever want a 3D model, I've mostly been as much as I'd love to like get 3D models done. At the moment, if I'm gonna be paying anyone, I'd rather get Numon done. Yeah, unused type combos isn't out yet. The only people who have seen it are the artists who I've sent it to, because I feel like they at least deserve to see what their art's going to be used for. And, if you support me on Patreon. Also, I may have sent it to some of my friends through DMs, Basically, if you go onto the Croneo Discord server and you have a role, chances are you are able to see it. And if you have a role, just ask me. But if you don't have a role, you've got to wait. Unless if you want a role, in which case, give me money for my Patreon. Can you describe the part that you may have watched? And just, if you can. But yeah, Oni Boy. Fan art is something that I mentioned someone who I could get to do it. Well, it's because I would want 2D commissions, and it's like if there are, I'm okay with fan art. Any fan art can be done. And I would be open to it. Like if I had a lot more money and I was like, do you know what, I fancy this, I probably would, but my budget is quite tight at the moment, so if I'm going to be spending money on anything, it would be commissions at the moment. Hope you understand. But if you ever just felt like making fan art, sure, I'd be happy. I wouldn't post it, but I would share it if you posted it on your own thing. Yeah, you should make that. Should you make it Grass Dragon to its new Evo Poison Dragon, or just make it Poison Grass? Why dragon type? And why poison type? Grass type seems quite clear. Yeah, fans got a video later. Thank you. Working on your own game, but you do find sources. Yeah. Honestly, ideally, if Croneo were to ever become a game, it would be weird because I would want it to be. I would prefer it to be in 3D. I wouldn't be against it being in 2D, but at the same time, Croneo doesn't really have roots. It may have some roots, but it is mostly wild areas. So, yeah. Electric Fighting Piccolo evolves. Ooh, yeah. That does appear in it, but that isn't the first thing discussed. That's the first thing that's discussed that I haven't revealed on Instagram, but it's not the first thing that is discussed, full stop. Grapes are 80 to 84% water. There's a sea dragon known as that in Greek mythology, so could base an Evo on that for this Applin variant. And yeah. Interesting. Also, a dragon called Dracane, also the name of a plant. Okay. If you see a jet strike. You might have seen it. You might have seen the video. I don't know, but someone would have probably shared it if that's the case, because I've not actually shared it. But yeah, I think a split evolution would make sense considering that's already been done for Applin. Is like if I did a regional variant of Applin, I would want to do a split, but yeah. Yeah. I'm not doing a regional variant of Applin. Applin does appear in the Croneo decks. One of the Pokemon I actually scrapped was going to be an evolution to Applin, but I didn't feel like the idea worked. But hey, it means we've got 2 grass waifus now, because I felt the one that I had that was going to be 3-stage would work better as a 2-stage, and that just led to another 2-stage one being able to be made. And you know what? Version exclusives are important, so I decided to make version exclusives. Poison, since the thistle is a weed, and weeds take nutrients from other plants. And dragon, based on Scottish dragons. Okay, yeah. I've kind of exhausted my dragon inspirations. I used as many as I could. But there's not actually many different dragons in Scottish mythology. There are, and I think you're just doing general dragon, so that's fair. I'm going a bit more specific, so yeah, and I've used them all, and I'm still doing, or I've used all of them that I could find. I'm doing Scotland. Yeah, there is a Boythir. That is, I'm actually, fun fact, in the process of making one. It's not an unused type combo, but it's in a line that splits, and one of the things that split off is an unused type combo. Also, the Baythier is an easy electric type to do. You don't know how hard electric types are to do unless if you are a Fate 1 creator. Because, like, Pokemon does electric types all the time, but it's like, what do you do? Just add electric to an animal. Like, I know I've done that. I've tried thinking outside the box when it comes to electric types, but that one was so simple because it just breathes electricity. It's a dragon with electric powers in Scottish mythology. That was so easy to do. Am I aiming to have my Pokemon types balanced in my region, or am I finding that I have fewer of any specific? Today, I actually got shown a website that checks balancing for me, and my region just ended up being fairly balanced in terms of my new designs, and a lot more balanced when it came to the whole decks. But there are some there are some types that are more abundant than others. Like normal and fairy are the main ones that are overly abundant, and ground and bug are the ones that are less abundant. But there are still plenty of Pokemon, and I think ground type, if you're a fan of ground types, you're probably going to miss out on quite a bit in the Croneo region. There is an ability that grants ground type stab to certain Pokemon, but like my regional bug is ground type until it isn't. I've got a regional variant of a Mon that will be showcased in the Canadian Mon video that is ground type until it's not as well. And that's a shame that I don't really have many ground type final evolutions. I do have some. I don't know if I have enough for a full team. But I mean, I'm doing an evolution of every type. I'm in the process of making a ground type. There is going to be a ground type in next week's video. And I've got another like ground type regional. I've got multiple ground type regional variants that are final evolution. So there are ground types. There's just not that many. But the ground types that there are, I hope people like if you like the ground type. The ground type's another type that's hard to come up with designs for. I'm surprised that I don't have many bug types because I just didn't really think of doing too many bugs. Like I did do some, and one is being done right now by Pokejamon, but you know, and yeah, you're welcome for me following you, but yeah. You haven't found any that could be electric except for the Pika clone. Yeah, that's the thing. There is a Fake One region that I've seen that basically only has the electric type be the Pika clone, a new form of an old Pokemon, and also a star, and that's it. That's all the electric types in the region newly introduced. I pointed that out to the creator on his Discord, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm not I wasn't that great at planning back then, but you know, Fakemon is a learning game, and yeah, it's you know, I think I have a decent amount of electric types. My problem when it came to my lack of planning is the lack of monotype Pokemon. I mean, sure, I'm doing the evolution of every type, so I can't have that view, but most of my new Pokemon are dual typed. And yeah, there's plenty of returning Pokemon, so there's going to be monotypes there, but I think outside of the evolutions, I've got the pseudo starters and then two more, and that's it, I think, when it comes to monotype final evolutions. Which is some Pokemon I feel like did need that secondary type, but others, well, I can't see their design concept without it. So that's the thing. But yeah. I haven't found any that could be electric. Yeah. But I think in Gen 8, there's like 2 evolution lines that contain electric. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, I guess when you're presenting a Fakemon region, you're presenting only the new ones, not the old ones. You're presenting only your new Fakemon. So there's a tendency for people to think that those are the only Fakemon, or those are the only Pokemon in your region. But that's just inherently untrue, because plenty of Fakemon creators do intend for other Pokemon to be in their regions. Like if you look at what their gym teams would contain, then plenty have returning Pokemon. I know that's true with me, and I do have a list of Pokemon that are going to return to in the Croneo region. So yeah, and I was, yeah, it's it's a thing where it's like if you're introducing new Pokemon or you're psychologically, you kind of feel like you have to balance out your new roster to allow for that. But I just think as long as there's enough Pokemon where you could have a full team of 6 of that type in the region, full stop, that's fine. Including returning Mon. You don't want a Diamond and Pearl situation. You really do not. But yeah. Ground might be the only type where you can't have a full team of 6 of brand new Pokemon for me, but I think every other type you can. Although that's not including legendaries, I should say. I think I've changed one of my legendaries types today from water poison because I have multiple water poison types in my decks already to ground poison, which would be for the same reasons as Paldea and Wooper has that typing, but it's a different concept. It just has similar reasonings for the typing. Regional cast form based on Chinese weather dragons, Dragon Normal, and that I'd be interested to see where that goes. I don't know if a regional cast form variant is a good idea or not, considering it's a form changing Pokemon that seemingly shouldn't have a limit on what forms it can turn into. And it's an artificially made Pokemon, which I know that shouldn't say anything. I'm not against it though. So if you make it, please send it my way. If you have an Instagram, you can DM it to me. My DMs are open on Instagram at Croneo region. There's existing, for example. Yeah, all pick Pokemon in your region. Interesting. I kind of wish all the bat Pokemon existed in my region. I was going for that, but I missed out Noibat and Noivern. They're not my favorite bat Pokemon because I don't really have any attachment to it, but they've got my favorite designs. Mankey not in Europe. Well, explain Grookey. Yeah, I don't think Pokemon needs to actually be based on something that actually lives in the home region. It just needs to have good association with it. I'm planning a bear Pokemon, and Scotland doesn't actually have any bears that naturally live here. So, in actuality, is that a good design? Well, yeah. The concept still works. The concept is still tied to Scotland. It's just based on an animal that doesn't really live here. But that's all I'm going to say. More like a redesign, the bulbs being orbs instead. Ooh. I'd love to see how it turns out. It's a design idea that I'm not sure on, but that doesn't mean to say it's a bad one. Not all ideas that don't sound like they work are bad, and not all ideas that sound like they work are good. That's the thing with design. You just really need to try it out. I'm very confident with my design ideas, and because I basically relay concepts and ideas to people, then my Fakemon tend to not feel over designed. Although I did pack a lot into starters and legendaries, my Pokemon from now on will probably be a bit more simple, but effective because they've got deep meanings. And as long as they have that, yeah. What did you miss? Not much. Just talking. Hey, Luck of the Claws, how are you doing? Just talking about Fakemon stuff, really. Just general, like, the methodology of designing Fakemon. the psychology behind it, really. It's a bit deep. Like, it's a case of something doesn't actually have to be from where the region's based on in order to work. Not all designs that have an idea that doesn't sound like it might work, not all of them don't work. They can work. And also, when it comes to making Fakemon, like, Fakemon creators are almost pressured to like have a balanced dex as if it were like only their new Pokemon, when that isn't true necessarily. Like, I know, for example, Fruipy, who has been watching the stream. I don't know if he's watching right now. I can't actually tell which viewers are watching. Yes, he's still here. But yeah, I know, Fruipy, you have your region which is mostly original designs. There are very few Pokemon that return from previous regions other than Eevee, maybe the Evolutions because of that, and Relicanth so far, I'm pretty sure. Am I hoping to ever do collaborations with any other YouTubers? I haven't found a collaboration that suits what I can bring to the table yet. But I'd be open to it. It really just does depend on the collaboration idea. Because if it involves me doing art, I commission people for the Pokemon art, so that won't work. Having them on from different areas give interesting lore. Yeah, that's true. Actually, it's like I think with returning Mon, you should always try and make sure they link with what you're trying to go for. But if it's brand new Mon, you can mold it however you want. You can mold the story however you want. Like, I've got a regional variant of an Ultra Beast. How does that work? I was able to create lore that worked for it. You'll see it a lot down the line, but it makes sense. Well, the design makes sense and the reasoning will make sense. Because I reverse engineered the reasoning, why it exists. But any types that I find especially inspiring that make more Fakemon for than others, I think it does depend on what you're trying to go for. Because Scotland has a lot of myths, fairy type was the easiest one to slap onto things. And I had to try and reduce that a bit. It really just does depend on the design idea, really. When it comes to like, there are types that are less inspiring than others. Like, I've always tried to think outside of the box when it comes to designing harder to design, or things that are a bit hard to design Pokemon for. But sometimes, even the easy ones, I'm like, well, like Bug and Dragon, they're pretty easy to do. Like, just make it a bug or make it a dragon. Easy. But like, sometimes you have to think outside of the box for that. Same thing with Fairy, actually, because Fairy has had a pretty standard thing, but so far there's not really many fairy types in my decks that fit into the fairy trope, and if they do, they don't stay that way for long. As I said in the first Croneo video, Grimmsnarl is a good. It's honestly probably one of my favorite fairy types conceptually, because it breaks away from that norm. It's not my favorite fairy type. My favorite fairy type is Togekiss, but but that but something becoming my favorite Pokemon really does depend on my personal connection with it and how and just me using it most of the time. I am perfectly happy to do a collaboration with you, Only Boy, and Jean-Luc Fisher. Stop it! Stop invading my stream. It's like not all of my Robert, why are you here? But yeah, grimy, unseelie fairy types. I wouldn't say my fairy types are mostly like grimy and that. Some maybe, but when I say like unconventional fairy types, like I don't even think my starter is that conventionally a fairy type. In personality, yeah, maybe, but in aesthetic, not really. Because it's not like this uber feminine, uber charming, like uber happy thing. It's playful and has nice aromas around it. Right. If my friends keep invading the stream. Yeah. Oh, Grim. Yeah, like I feel like Fairy Ghost and Fairy Dark as types naturally lend themselves to that combination. One. An interesting fairy for Scottish mythology is a weird golem thing with eyes on its hands. Can you tell me the name of that? Because I might incorporate that to a uh might incorporate that into a design that I was making, because I was already making it a sort of golem, but I was basing it off of a different myth. But I might base it off of two different myths and combine them. Like, there's one myth that I'm actually just turning into something else. Like, I think it's all right to take inspiration from things, but completely change it. Um, for all the users in timeout, just remember what this stream is about. This is a Pokemon stream, not a Doctor Who one. Not a bully me one, my friends. Please do not. Like, you mean the sort of tree monster thing, or am I confusing that with something else? Hence. Okay. The ring guy. Oh, Gollum! Gollum! Do I have any... I have I do have I do have something based on that, Only Boy. Would think it isn't a dog, but it's... I'm not gonna make it fairy fighting. I'm not gonna make it either of those types. But I am going to do something like that. But I don't know if I can make a yeah, Golem and Golem are two different things, yeah. I I have seen the Lord of the Rings movies, and I'm actually interested to watch that prequel series on Prime. Like that actually looks pretty interesting. Um, I saw a trailer for it last time I was in the cinema, and it was yeah. And um, okay, the Fachen. Um, I didn't mean to do that. I'm trying to copy and paste it. Hold on. It's a monster or giant. Uh yeah, Scottish Giants. Maybe. Maybe. There are so many people. The spam messages, my friends are just trying to raid me, Fruity. Ugh. This is getting hard to moderate, guys. This isn't fun for anyone. I think they be like memeing. uh yeah. I swear, like there's only I bet half of the viewers here are like my friends trying to like spam that, you know? Anyway. But yeah, I always like trying to incorporate more mythology and more reasonings into my designs. Yeah, I can mute people temporarily. I have, and yes, I do have a Discord. I also have a Discord server. I don't think I have my link tree in the description of this. I probably will add it once I've finished. Um, but yeah. Um, I'm just gonna open all these tabs. Seriously, can you guys stop talking about Doctor Who on a Pokemon stream, please? I'm now gonna block users. Not temporarily block them for 5 minutes. I'm gonna block you. if you keep doing that. So okay. So Fly Fox, yeah, I'm just I've got tabs open, so I'll research them after the stream's done. Like I don't know if it's gonna be geographically close, but I've got no plans to have characters from Galar show up. But if it would be a thing of maybe it's like a post game or DLC kind of thing. So I'll think about it around the time I'm tackling Lowe's elements. Fake creature that looks like a horse. Yeah, that's that describes a lot. That describes a lot of Scottish folklore creatures. I mean Kelpies. I mean I'm gonna have a Kelpie Pokemon. I can't not. That's probably like everyone's favorite Scottish thing to turn into a Pokemon, a Kelpie. Because unicorns aren't inherently Scottish, but like the context for me is, and that might have been the context behind Galarian Rapidash. And with yeah, Kelpies. Oh, I know you're meaning slower, but yeah, with a Kelpie, I was gonna have it be Water Fairy, but I've changed it to a Water Ghost because I had too many fairy types and Ghost still worked. Also, it's going to be a regional variant of a Pokemon, but not one you would expect because I want to be creative, you know? Black Shuck. Okay. That is English folklore, specifically. It's a ghostly black dog from English folklore. I'm sorry to say, but I'm not going to include that. Regional Delmise. Ooh, no, I'm not doing that, but that actually sounds interesting. It's an equine Pokemon. It's going to be an equine Pokemon, but it's not. It's going to be the one that you'd think the least. Am I going hard Scottish? No, but um, no, but yes, basically. I'm not gonna necessarily do. Not everything's gonna be fully Scottish. Like there are some Canadian Pokemon, there are some Pokemon that don't really have strong inspiration, but it's like, you know, I'm not going to do something that's specifically something else outside of Scotland and Canada. If something's going to be specific, it's going to be one of those two. But mostly Scottish is what I'm going to be focusing on. Although there is one Pokemon that I'm not sure what I want to do, and I'm thinking maybe taking some Canadian inspiration if I can. But What about brownies or gnomes? I'm gonna do a brownie mon. God, like all the spam. Can you guys stop spamming, please? Okay. Okay, Flyfox. Gnomes. Are gnomes specifically Scottish? Mythological creature. Where do they come from? But to answer the question, yeah, I am doing Brownie Mon. I am gonna do a haggis based mon, but it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird. Basically, haggis and bagpipes are the two things Scotland tends to be most known for, and I'm thinking of going a comedy route with a regional variant. With regional variants, they can be more specific because they're not going to be largely in the Pokemon world in general, unlike brand new Pokemon. So, yeah. The Great Hand could be interesting. Uh. Um. I wonder if you'd be allowed to post a link, Only Boy. Could you try that? Or just point me in the direction of where you can find that. Oh god. My eyes feeling really weird. Gay rights, gay rights. There are going to be plenty of LGBT characters in the Croneo region. And you'll definitely see one in the next video. Because I have a non-binary gym leader. So that's going to be interesting. Oh, don't worry. Looker's definitely investigating something in my region. I can't have a Scottish region not look at the Looker connection with David Tennant, a Scottish actor. I'm actually going to try and incorporate all the Scottish actors who have played the Doctor into the Croneo arc, as it were. Hopefully, by the time I get around to the sort of Pokemon Ornament, whatever that's going to be, I know what it's going to be, but it's going to be hard to explain, and I don't want to reveal too much at this early stage. But hopefully, because the new Doctor, Shuigatwa, is played by Shuigatwa is played. No, Shuigatwa is an actor. He's playing the Doctor. He is Scottish. He is a Scottish man, and I'm wanting to incorporate him, to be with Looker, like maybe his assistant or his son or whatever. I think it would be interesting to have an older Looker appear at some point, based on Peter Capaldi, and I don't know, Looker's dad be based on Sylvester McCoy. I think that would be fun. A Looker for every type, I guess. Nah, not a Looker for every type, but hey. And also, I do have plans later that would be more espionage focused rather than sci-fi focused for Looker to do, and Looker would then have an appearance similar to Sean Connery in Goldfinger, I'm thinking. So not just Doctor Who, because I like James Bond as well, so I kind of want to tackle that. But also David Tennant has worn a tuxedo before, but not a white one, but I can bend things a bit. Hey, Apollo. Will says hi.
Hi.
I've just realised you're ever so slightly in frame and you don't want to be. I apologise.
You will not survive the night.
I will not. Not Pokemon, but have I seen Gigabash? I have not seen Gigabash. What is Gigabash? It's alright to just to have stuff that is non-Pokemon. I'd rather have the focus of the stream be Pokemon, but I don't want flux spam. Yeah, no, that is not good. It's a kaiju fighting game. Okay, that makes sense. I may check it out. Yeah. Alright. I'm thinking... Okay, the last time I ended the stream after 2.5 hours, I might do the same, because my voice is tiring, and this has been really fun. Oh god. Yeah, my voice may not be able to take it much more. Feel free to DM me about stuff if you want. But yeah. And so, got about 10 minutes left. Also, dealing with the spam is getting quite annoying. That's not the main reason I'm leaving, but it is a reason. But yeah, my voice can't take much more. But I'm not done yet. 10 more minutes. And it released yesterday. Okay. I'll have a look at it then. Have I ever thought of a group stream? Well, I've done group streams before for Universals with my friends who are spamming the chat. But a group Fakemon stream could work. StreamYard can do group streams. So I'd be happy to do it if people were willing. Because I'm sure people would want to see it, and it would be easier on my voice because talking by yourself for 2.5 hours hurts. But having someone else do the talking for a bit works. Like, being in a conversation would work. It would work out just nicely, and it can and would result in longer streams. So I'd be happy to do that. It's just a matter of who would want to do that. What the stream would need to be about and when. But I'm perfectly happy to do it. Like, a lot of Fakemon creators I follow have quite busy lives. Like, the Fakemon creators that give me the most inspiration have jobs, or YouTube is their job, and they have busy lives outside of that. So, or because of that, even. I mean, just because you wouldn't be able to bring much doesn't mean we can't do it. It's a case of, like, it would be a case of if you could bring an interesting topic to the conversation. Yeah, sure, fair enough. Or if it was just people chatting about Pokemon and Fakemon and stuff, just having a normal conversation that people can just tune into. Like, that is a vibe that I'm perfectly happy doing. So it's not even about the size, because I'm not a big channel either. Freelance design, but you mostly do advertising. Great, you can give me tips. But yeah, freelance design, fair enough. Fakemon Creator Hangout would be a fun stream. Yeah, I mean, Gabe, if you want to do it at some point, because we're both doing active series that started around the same time. I think you might be further ahead than me, because you are an artist and you do weekly, and that is, that means I'm a bit behind. But yeah, happy enough to do that. How does this move sound for Kelstorm Grudge Wave? It does double damage to the first Pokemon to hit it, 100% accuracy, power 80, also doubles on critical hits. When you say 100% accurate, do you mean it always hits, or it's got 100 accuracy? Because that's different. If it always hits regardless of accuracy reduction, then that's a different thing. But other than that, the name I'm not sure on, but I'm not sure what it's based on. But I mean, do you need to double the power with critical hits? Because critical hits boost power anyway. It always hits. Okay. Try and work on a game in my free time, but I'll have a bit more time soonish. Okay. Hopefully it's sooner than when I have to do a university project, because yeah. Oh, it stacks on crits. Well, so if it crits, it does a lot more damage than if it didn't, than just a high damage roll. Because if so, I mean, crits make things do more damage anyway, and a lot of the time, crits put people in sticky situations anyway, if not completely knocks them out. So I'm not sure about the move. I'm not a game design expert, so take my opinion with a grain of salt, but I'm not entirely sure if that would work or if it makes sense or not. But I'm sure it would work. But yeah, a chill stream with a few topics in mind could be very fun with a few people. Yeah, it is. I know I've done that before in the Doctor Who community, because I wouldn't say I'm large in the Doctor Who community, because I'm not, but like I have plenty of friends in there, so yeah. But Fakemon community has been one that I've found the most rewarding when I've been putting more effort in lately. I'm not out of the Doc 2 community, I've just found Fakemon creating just the most fun thing I've ever done. Oh, that fell, and I should get that, but the stream is going to end soon anyways. We've hit the 2 hour 30 mark, so last orders when it comes to questions, I would say. Last few questions. Once I get to once I get to the 2:33 mark will be when I close, if there are no questions by then. So Calstorm, based on the amounts of rain that is in Scotland, is also based on how Scottish people get moody during rainy days on Kelpies. Okay, interesting. Maybe it could have a stat-related effect. I hear my cat. Any non-flux related opinions? So the move is like it's moody and it's holding the ground on you for hitting it. Alright. Yeah. Fine, my opinion on the second flux. It ended. And then the season ended. Done. Like ground horse, but attack. Interesting. Has a fire unicorn counterpart, by the way. Like Rapidash? Rapidash is a fire unicorn. I'll wait until you respond to that, and then and then I'll end the stream. Although if someone gets a question before that, I will answer that. Is my Kelpie based on Mudsdale? No. Well, that would be interesting. I'm contemplating changing it, but I'm thinking probably not because I want to do something. Because I very much like my idea, and I've not really seen many regional variants for this mon before, and it can be okay, yeah. And I think my Kelpimon originally started as an idea to do that, but also when there was Megas, I wanted it to become a Pegasus, but now it's a Kelpie Pegasus. But originally I just thought of two Pokemon I kind of wanted to be counterparts, but I kind of forgot about Mudsdale when I was thinking about that. But Mudsdale could work better, but I think it's more interesting to go with the route I'm going down, and, you know, by process of elimination, there's not many more equine Pokemon, so you might be able to guess. But anyway, stuff's getting in my eye. I'm gonna thank everyone for watching, and call it a day. Just remember, once this stream is over, I'll put in the description my link tree. It will have a link to, well, not only the YouTube channel, but also my Instagram, as well as my Twitter and Patreon, and anything else I feel like it's worth putting there. All right. So until next time, guys, make sure to tune in next week to see my new Croneo video. Or if you want to see it early, check out my Patreon, which will be in the link tree in the description once I finish the stream. Yeah, I've got nothing else to say. Goodbye.